Hello. Welcome, gamers. It is Monday, and we are here to do some game development, I guess. Anyway, what is this image? Some kind of waterfall. This is Breaking Wave at Uluwatu, Bali. I thought this was a waterfall. This was actually just a wave. It's crazy. Anyway, welcome Stream Elements, welcome Mr. Eldritch, welcome Hemp, welcome Deffins, and Namington, and Lastabaka. So I don't think I really did too much since the last stream. But we can check, we can take a look at the logs. I also feel as if my voice is not as good today. There's something about it, I just don't know what it is. It's also like pretty humid. The weather right now, it's quite hot. Let me take a look. 85, humidity 68%. It's so heat advisory, are you kidding me? You're telling me there's a heat advisory? Possible threat to life or property. Heat index values up to 100 expected where? Many places in New York until 8 p.m. today. Heat-related illnesses. Execute pre-planned activity as instructed in the description. Affected area. That's crazy. Well, it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Let's take a look at the changelog. I don't think there was that much that I changed, but we will take a look. Let's see, git log. Alright, so last time I streamed this was on Friday. Oh, it turns out I did not actually do that much. I pretty much did not really change anything. I think what I did, okay, on Friday after stream, I think what I did was, okay, I did a few things. I think last thing we did on the stream was waiting for Barbara to land state. And then off stream, I increased the reel speed a bit more. I made it so that the bobber cannot go beyond where the player is. Let's check it. Let's take a look. Okay, you can cast. Remember last time we added that animation? This thing, now it used to be that if you reeled it in, sometimes it could go 1 pixel beyond this. It's not possible anymore. I've also, let's see. Yes, I increased the reel speed. You'll notice it is quite fast. I've also made it so that if you start reeling in and you stop, you go back to the default fishing idle state. It used to be that once you enter reeling in, you would be stuck on reeling in. You would not go up and down anymore. I fixed that. You can now return to idle. And then what? Allow reeling directly after casting finishes. I don't know what that means specifically. Allow reeling directly after casting finishes. I don't know, but surely I had a reason for it. I've also increased the speed of when you are casting. This animation right here, it goes a little bit faster. I would say maybe it's a bit too fast, I'm not sure, but maybe it's fine. The previous one though, it was a bit slow, whereas if you just tapped it, it would wait a while, which seemed a bit strange. And then I removed an unused variable. I've updated, okay, this one doesn't matter. So basically no real major changes. That's it, that's the whole stream. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna raid some, I'm just kidding. Literally, just kidding, just a joke. Okay, so what do I have on my to-do list? Things on my notes of things to do. I could add some actual art to the stream. Right now we are fishing in just the void, a gray void. We could add actual background. We could add an actual hook Because as you can see right now, we only have the bobber. Also, another thing I could add is water physics. Right now, you'll note that when we drop the bobber in, it doesn't actually like go up and down as you might expect. It's because we have not added that. It is simply just solid ground. Now, I did find that there is a plugin where you can simulate water movement. We could look into learning how to do that today. And then another thing that might be a bit more complicated is physics for the actual fishing line. Because at the moment this is fine because we're just casting in a void, right? As long as it hits the floor, it's fine. But then if we have a situation where we're like on a wall or something, let's say we're on a ledge and then the water's down here. If we back up and there's like the edge is right here, we start casting, the line will go through the floor, which does not necessarily make sense. So I got to think about whether I want that to be possible. You know, maybe I want to have physics for the fishing line. Now I feel like most games don't have that. I feel like most games do not have physics for the actual fishing line. It might make it a bit annoying, you know? A lot of things to consider sometimes, you know, it could get stuck. So I don't really know if I want to do that. Like, it depends. I'm not even sure like what kind of game I want to make. Right now I'm kind of just like making stuff up. But if I want this to be like a game where the player can jump between cliffs and things like that, you might need to consider physics. But I don't know. And then what? I guess I could look into water physics. It seems like it might be something not too hard to do. I looked up buoyancy. There's like a buoyancy plugin. Is it this one? It was floatable body. This one right here. They got examples in 3D and 2D. Look at this. You can drop things into a body of water. It will float up and down. So I could consider adding something like this, perhaps. Or I could simply not do that. What do you think? Is anyone even watching? We're gonna go to we're gonna go here. Welcome, pandas. We're gonna open up Sprite. Maybe I can work on some backgrounds, because it is kind of it's kind of plain right now. It's a little bit nothing's going on, you know. Gray void. The thing is, like, what background do I want? Do I want to reuse graphics? Probably not. We probably want unique graphics that were not used for Vacuous Sugar Quest. But then if I'm using this color scheme though, there are many things that, you know, there's not that many choices for colors. Now you might be like, Wolfie, you don't have to use the same colors. You could simply use a different color scheme. You could simply add extra things. I will have to think. I'll have to consider. It is so hot, I'm like sweating right now. It's literally kind of surprised that my computer can actually like handle this. I would have expected it to, like, you know, not work at this point. But it's fine. It actually works. Another minor thing that I did, I moved all the rod things to its own layer, so that if I wanted to have special effects that apply only to the rod, I can do that. I think I may need to like move the bobber out of this and have that in its own layer. But you know, we haven't really decided what we're doing yet. We got the casting animation, we got the bobber. I should probably put the bobber in its own thing, because right now it's lumped in with the player stuff. It doesn't necessarily make sense. I could move this out. Probably should at some point, but I don't know. Do I want to do that on this stream? Okay, on this stream we gotta decide. I'm going to try out floatable body. Just I can't even talk. Just to see what that looks like. First of all, let me see what I've changed. I think I took a look at changing like a few small things. What is this stuff? I don't even know what this is. Character body 2D, bobber spawn point. Oh yeah, I looked into using a damped spring joint at some point because I saw, I was thinking of how to add physics to the fishing line. And there was an example that I saw on itch. Actually, let me see if I can find the tab on my other computer. They have an example of a physics-based fishing simulation. Some guy made a prototype. It's like, look, it looks kind of nice, right? The fishing line has physics. This was made in Unity, but I think a lot of these could be similar. But they also don't have the situation where, like, they have to consider clipping. Right? At the moment, there's not really obstacles in the way. They did say, though, that the rope was simply a single spring joint, which is also a thing in Godot. Godot also has spring joints. But I took a look. I was not able to get it to work just yet. But I only tried for like a few minutes. I think for now I will undo this. I will simply reset to what I had earlier. And then we'll try out the water physics. Marshmallow, exactly. Fish are marshmallow, this guy's a marshmallow. What more could you want? Alright, so this one we're gonna do buoyancy, I think. No, what was it called? Floatable body? Floatable body 2D. Let's try it out. Welcome Nutritious. Alright, so they got various things going on. Let's go to the plugins, settings, plugins, floatable body, turn that on. And then, you know, you often gotta reload the project, so I'm gonna do that. I don't know why my voice is dying today. Can anyone relate to this? All bodies float, that's why I have to weigh them down. Is that true though? But what if the body is made of cement? What about that? Okay, so here's the root node. I think the way it works is that you add a floatable body. What's it called? Floatable body 2D. Rigid body, floatable player 2D. Floatable player. Floatable body 2D. Okay. Welcome X job. Okay, and then you gotta give it a shape. Okay, use collision shape? Right. You gotta go here, you gotta add a collision shape 2D. It's going to be a, let's make it a rectangular shape. Okay, actually, you know what? One thing I realized I could do is I could move these things to the left side. I noticed some developers that I see streaming on itch.io, sorry, not it, on Twitch, they actually have this bar like on the right side, which I think kind of makes sense because like a lot of times you gotta like move the cursor from like here to here, but like you could instead just have it all on the left side. Could try doing that. Streaming on twitch.io, exactly. How does this work? Dock position. There? No, that's not what I want. Here? No, now it's part of the wrong thing. I guess I have to move the other things to the previous one. Oh yeah, whatever. Well, you know, whatever. We could do. It's not a big deal. We can simply do this some other time. Okay, so then we have floatable body 2D. You could move the area. Perhaps it's like here, right? This area right here. we will adjust the static body to be, instead of being a world boundary, it's going to be a rectangle shape. And this one specifically, it's going to be like right here. It's going to be here. And I should have a separate thing for water. You don't need the file system tab. Yeah, but I would like to have it open still. All right, this one, collision shape, collision. Okay, we're gonna add a new layer. So we have 1 for terrain, 2 for player, 3 for bobber. I guess 4 is going to be for water. Edit names. Okay, so 4 is going to be a water. Okay, and then you have to go to the player. You got to change the bobber to our new type. Let's see. Change. Where does it go? Where is it? Change type. Am I losing my mind? Node path. Change. Detach script. Oh no, because it's its own thing. We have to go here and then go here. Change type is going to be a floatable body 2D, floatable player 2D. All right, so now, oh, right, because we did not add the correct collisions. Collision, it will collide with the water as well. Does not work. We have in fact broken something. Let's see, how do we fix this? It's the bobber, that's the water. We have the terrain. It is on, oh, do we have to go to, I think we have to go to this layer and turn on the mask maybe? No, it wasn't like that before. Is that even valid? It's broken. Okay, we gotta read the documentation. Floatable body. Alright, let's see. Fluid area 3D. Floatable. Oh, because it should be fluid area. Right. Not floatable body. Okay, so change type. Fluid area 2D. And then collision, you don't really need to enable the mask for any of these. Nope, does not work. Can I call you eWall? I don't know why you would do that. But I would prefer if you did not. Because there's no sense, it does not make sense necessarily. Alright, so let's see. Play the scene. Floatable body 3D will fall down and enter the fluid area 3D. Add collision shape. Add a mesh instance. Add floatable body 3D node. So we have, let's rename this. This is actually not floatable body. It is actually a fluid area 2D. I think, yes, it is in fact a fluid area 2D. It inherits from area 3D, add collision shape. Okay, so we got collision shape 2D. Floatable body 3D, it inherits from rigid body. Floatable body 3D will fall down and enter the fluid area. Okay, so then I guess we should add a color rectangle. Just so that it's visible. Let's make this one fill. It's gonna fill the entire thing. Never mind, it does not work. You would simply put it in the same place. It's going to be right here. There is probably some way to make this happen automatically, but I don't know what that is. Alright, and then we change the color. Visibility, modulate, turn that to blue. That is the wrong thing. It's actually should be this. Okay. 2D. Okay, so we got density, we got mass. Center of mass, volume. I think maybe floatable. Okay, so floatable player 2D. Let's take a look at this. Physics process. Physics process, fluid interactor process, global transform, gravity. Okay, so we gotta, okay, so we have to have a fluid interactor 2D. That is necessary for the bobber. Unless we change this to simply be, no, let's keep it as this. I was going to say we can change it to be a different type of node. I don't think we need this. Okay, so then it extends, instead of extending character body 2D, it ends, change type is going to be a floatable player 2D. Floatable player 2D. Okay, then they have a bunch of things that they've set here. You gotta have, let's copy all of this stuff. So we have a fluid interactor 2D on ready. Okay, so fluid interactor has to be added as a collision shape. You just paste the code. It's actually so simple. What is get shape owners? Remember mass already exists. Oh, I'm extending the wrong thing. What is this? Physics process, move and slide. Wait, I guess this already has everything. What am I doing? What is he even doing? Maybe this is all I need. Is this all I need? We got mass, we got fluid damp, move speed. Does not work. So this should theoretically be doing something. Collision. So it is on the bobber layer. It interacts with water and terrain. Let's check that it still works on land. It does still work on land. It does not work on the water. Now, why is that? We gotta know why. Let's see, fluid area 2D, right? We got density, we got simulate turbulence, gravity. I think we could maybe add an area entered, a body entered, just to check. Connect it to something. There is an advanced menu. You can in fact connect it to, can I just connect it to print? Is there like a print method? Okay, maybe not. I don't know. It's so hot. Why is it so hot? Okay, physics process, move and slide. Let's take a look at their example code. Maybe there's something in there. Demo. Scenes. Floatable 2D. Alright, so they have a floatable player 2D. They have a bunch of shapes. They have a node 2D. Fluid area 2D has a position. They've set a color rectangle. They've got a collision shape. Rigid body 2D. Really makes you think. Minigame. They've got a duck as well. If you consider adding a duck in the game, maybe. Maybe there is in fact a duck. Well, okay, is there anything else? Do I, instead of calling this thing, I simply just call... Is it like parent? What is it called? Super.physics process. Is that what is required? Do I not have any of this stuff? Maybe that's what it is. Up. It has broken. It has in fact, something has in fact broken. Why is that? Cowboy? Yeehaw? Alright, what is this? What is this physics process doing? Fluid interactor process. Got damping, got velocity, got gravity. They've hard-coded gravity in here. If input is action, press UI left. It seems wrong. Why is this hard-coded in here? Wait a second. Okay, it appears that this library maybe has some unintentional things. Is that maybe you can actually press to change direction? I feel like this is unintentional. Was this just example code? Set feature? Why would they hard code in this stuff? Maybe this was meant as a reference. Maybe this was just meant for me to copy from. Advanced usage. For cases where you want to use buoyancy with character body, use fluid interactor 3D. Okay, they just specified this as example code. Why would they have that in the library though, as a node to use? It's a bit confusing. Well, okay. We can take a look at how they do it. We have mass, we got fluid damp, move speed, rotate speed. So on physics process, they calculate the float force. They calculate is on floor. And then they adjust gravity. They got move and slide. Fluid area enter. Fluid area. Oh, do they need to connect this to something? Is that what it is? Declared as damp. So true. Fluid interaction area. Okay, so I think you need to connect this to something. Fluid area enter. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So let's see. You gotta go to fluid area. Let's go to player. Let's go to bobber. Okay, so in this bobber thing, welcome what's a butts. I think they have a fluid area enter. They don't. Where is it? Fluid area enter. Fluid interactor. Okay, it might be easier if I just change this to be a, what's it called? Floatable body. Let's see, change type. Change type, floatable body. Welcome, Simulder. Floatable body 2D. And then the bobber should extend floatable body 2D. Right. But as you know, these things no longer have access to velocity. They do not have velocity. Gravity enabled is also not really a thing. All right, let's see. Godot, what's it called? Rigid body 2D. Isn't this so interesting? Watching someone fail to use a software library. All right, so how do they do this? Apply impulse. That's what we need to do. Instead of calling activate, we have to do apply impulse. Let's go to player state, activate. Okay, bobber.apply impulse. So we got an impulse, we got position. What does position do? Position is the offset from the body origin. It doesn't matter. Alright, now does this work? Is this? It does not work. Call duplicate. Oh, that's not a thing that exists. It's not even a thing. Okay, so with this we can't really do the trajectory stuff unless we change a few things. Character body to this should not be character body. This should be a floatable body 2D. I think. Nope, it is crashed. There's no velocity. There's no velocity. Collision test dot velocity. All right, so this should be collision test dot apply impulse of velocity. Okay. Nope. We failed. Is on floor. There is no is on floor. It is crashed. There is no is on floor. Wait, then when does this pass? When does this even finish then? It simply just does not work. Is it broken? Oh, do you see that? It rolls. Wait, it has rotation built in. Do you see that? It's actually, wait, that's actually kind of cool. Interesting. Okay, but we can't reel in anymore because it has not landed. How do we check velocity? Check that it has not moved. Say linear velocity. Gravity scale. Methods. Get colliding bodies. How do we check? So it extends physics body 2D. Get gravity, test move. Collision object. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff here. Shape owner. Godot, check. Rigid body is on floor. please, anybody. Ask the question, and then how many days has it been? June 7th at 5 p.m. versus June. Okay, it's the same day. No one answered his question on the same day, and he said, please, anyone. Literally an hour later. Okay. You'll need to use contact monitoring and at least one max contacts reported. Most accurate would be to integrate forces and iterate over contacts looking for an up-facing normal vector. Interesting. Thanks for not. I figured it out, guys. Integrate forces. Is on floor. So we set is on floor to be something else. It's a proper. Okay, you gotta turn on contact monitoring. And then you just set up a bunch of stuff. Physics process. This guy does not understand what's happening. Alright, so maybe we just copy this code. Integrate forces. Let's go to this one. So we could set a property on the node that returns when it is on the floor. Let's go to the bobber script. Let's paste this thing in. Is on the floor. Gravity enabled. Change this to 2D because that's what it is. Is on floor is false, and then change this one. Is on floor equals on is on floor, or this contact on floor. What's wrong with this one? Cannot pass type. Oh, this got to be vector 2.up. All right, so now we have access to is on floor. And then we go here. It is now available as a variable. Where else did we have this? I think we changed somewhere else. Whatever, let's see if this works. Nope. Okay, so is this on floor though? That's my question. Oh no, you gotta go. Okay, you have to go to enable a thing, right? That's a thing. Contact something. What's it called? Contact monitoring. That's what it is. And then I think you have to set max contacts to 1. At least 1. Max contacts reported 1. Okay, it is crashed, but it does work. Velocity, bobber velocity. Right, the bobber does not have a velocity. It's not a thing you can change. So we'll have to adjust this at some point. Okay, so you can reel in, but it doesn't do anything because we velocity is also applied. So how do you stop a rigid body 2D? Constant force. Can you apply constant force? Add constant force? What does constant force do? Constant position force that keeps being applied over time until cleared. Do I want to do that every frame? Is that a thing that I would like to do every frame? Apply force, apply impulse. Impulse is time independent. It should be used when simulating one-time impacts. Alright, so add constant force. What is that versus add force though? Add constant force versus apply central force. Apply force. Okay, so this must be applied every physics frame, which maybe is what we want. Let's see, player bobber velocity is equal to this thing. So if you are pressing the button, you want to apply a force in the opposite direction. Player.bobber.apply force. And then we have our vector. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, it's not doing anything. Apply force. Is meant to be applied on every physics update. Position is the offset. Okay, so what if we multiply this by just by 10, just to see if it makes a difference. It does not. It is actually crashed. Something has crashed. Gravity enabled. That is not a thing that exists. Okay, what if we did this way? Oh, okay, you can reel it back. Okay. Let's see. So instead of it being 10, what about times 2? Okay, it applies. Oh, it's like a yo-yo. It is going downward. Okay, so we can reel it back slightly. It can go back. But then things are happening. Various things are happening and it is broken. Alright, so then when it is where we are, we want to apply what are we doing? We want to change the impulse to apply vertically. Alright, so we gotta have it apply a force opposite to its gravity. Bobber, apply force. This thing should be 0 on the x-axis. Welcome, Neo Antoine. And then on the y-axis, I think you get the player.bobber get gravity dot y. Yo, thank you for the Prime subscription. Hey, hold on. Player.bobber get gravity. So you want to apply a force opposite of gravity. Hey, hold on. Get gravity.y. And then you want to have real speed.y. Wait. So this thing, but negative, and then plus real speed.y. Or just real speed. These emotes are out of control. Let's go. Alright, does this work? Is this a thing that works? Oh shoot! Okay, so gravity enabled, turn that off. We don't have that anymore. No, gravity, it's going too much. I would like to counteract the current velocity. How do we get the current force that is being applied? Freeze. What is freeze? Gravity and forces are not applied. Inertia. Linear velocity. Log rotation. Integrate forces. Godot rigid body 2D. Get current velocity. How to get the local velocity? Oh, it's just a property, linear velocity? Okay. So let's see. Instead of get gravity, you instead get the linear velocity. So you counteract the velocity. It is in fact not, it appears that it is not being counteracted. Apply force equal to the negative of the linear velocity. Local velocity. What the heck is this? I don't know what that is. Okay, this does not work. What if we do times 2? The negative of the local velocity times 2. It does not appear to be going up at all. It's kind of cool though. I do like that it's like spinning. So why does this not go upward? Can I print the linear velocity? What does that look like? Oh. Okay, there's a very large number. Welcome, Zoli. Okay, as we reel in, we have... Oh, why is the y velocity 0? That should be fine though, right? Okay, so we are applying a force equal to negative... Oh, it's because gravity is still there. We got it. We still have to counteract gravity. Right, so it should be equal to negative linear velocity and then minus gravity. Get gravity. I think, right? Okay, it's going up. It has stopped going up for some reason. Why is it not going up? I would like to apply a force equal to the negative gravity. Okay, it's because as we apply a force to it, this thing is counteracting itself. I think that's what it is. Because this thing will accumulate, right? You don't want that. We're counteracting our own negative velocity. So then this should only apply, let's see, if player.bomber.linear velocity .y is greater than 0, then you do this. Hold on. Var extra y impulse, extra y force is equal to, also welcome tag barrel. So extra y force should be, if it's going up, you should apply negative gravity. Okay, gravity should always be applied, but extra y force should be should be negative player.bomber.linear velocity .y if player.bomber.linear velocity is greater than 0. Otherwise, it should be 0, I think. Possibly. Welcome, Hamflow. Let's see, so we have this thing. And then you should then apply the force. It should be negative gravity plus real speed plus extra y force. Invalid operand. Alright, because this thing has to be vector 2 of 0 and this. Invalid operands. If linear velocity .y is greater than 0. Nope. Identifier, okay, extra force. Oh, okay, it's going up. We have failed to apply force. Okay, I think we also still need to apply some vertical force to it. It's going way too far down. Don't know how to counteract that. Things get really wacky when you start using real physics. Instead of like implementing your own fake physics, if you use real physics, it just gets crazy. You don't even understand how to do things. Is there a way to like remove angular velocity? If we were to go here, we can go to the properties. Mass distribution. Lock rotation. Is that what it is? Lock rotation? It just is not working. How do we get it to go horizontally? Okay, but isn't this less interesting though? If it's not rotating? That rotation was kind of cool. But maybe this is too unpredictable. It's kind of weird. I don't really know. We don't really even know. He's failing to do a very basic task here. It's literally impossible. Alright, but what if we lock rotation here? It does not go up. What does can sleep do? Sleeping. If true, the body will not move and not calculate forces until woken up by another body. Body can enter sleep mode when there's no movement. Freeze mode. Freeze. Custom integrator. Okay. Linear, angular velocity, constant forces, gravity. Okay, why is this 1 kilogram? How much do these usually weigh? Like 0.5 kilograms? I don't actually know. Wow, what the? You see that? If we unlock rotation. Whoa. It is simply dropped through the earth. Simply is unable to do anything. It's one, yeah, but like I don't know how much they usually weigh. It's usually pretty light, right? It's like surely less than 1 pound. Maybe like 0.2 kilograms. Whoa, that's crazy. Okay, well, okay, maybe we keep it at 1, just because it appears that it works as expected, somewhat, a little bit. What am I doing here, though? What are we even doing? Get gravity, apply force, negative gravity, and then you apply some extra force. But why is this not enough? Velocity is greater than 0. Then you do a thing. Welcome, Hoppy Hollow. Real speed. None of this fake speed, only real speed. Apply force. Is it because we also need to apply force to get it off the ground? Let's say we do like player dot bobber dot linear velocity dot y, but opposite. Wait, it should be gravity. Why is this not moving? Player dot bobber dot get gravity dot y. Oh wait, okay, that works. Sort of. It sort of works. Interesting. Okay, so then if you're not reeling in, if you have not pressed it, but the bobber position is this, you should always be applying the force. Like in Star Wars. So go here. You must be applying a force that is equivalent to gravity. So negative player, bobber get gravity. Should be 0. Should just be this. Should be vector 2, but okay, you gotta not have the y in there. Okay, and then we don't need it here because it's going to be applied regardless. But it must also be 0. If you are not real, who is even real? Are any of us even real? Is that freaking Razul? The guy who has graduated, but he's still alive somehow. I thought once you graduate, you can't be alive anymore. He's out here posting emotes. Wait, why does it sometimes it goes through the ground? Do we know why that is? He's dead? Okay, he's not even real. Razul's not even real anymore. The heaviest fishing line floats seem to weigh 15 grams. That is very light. The AI submarine, no, you can't be trusting AI submarines. You gotta find some arbitrary result on Google, obviously. Why is that why is this happening? Why is it out here clipping through the ground like this? I think we don't need real speed times 2. We would simply increase the speed. Oh shoot, look at the... Wait a second. Should it not always be applying the force? Why is it not simply applying the force? Okay, maybe I need to add another state. Like Canada. We'll have a variable is out of water. What's it called when the thing is like right here and you're reeling it up? It's above the water. It is reeling vertically. It's going to be false. And then when you enter this state, is reeling vertically must also be false. And then as soon as you enter the state that it is reeling this way, then you gotta do is reeling vertically equals true. And then you apply the force, okay? And then this one, if is reeling vertically. Is this true? Is this even real? Oh, it's because we have a fishing state. The fishing state, that doesn't even work anymore. Because it only applies when we're reeling. As soon as you have stopped reeling in, you enter the regular fishing state, it doesn't work. I see. It's a few grams, depending on how deep the water is. Alright. We got things to consider here. What was I gonna search for? I don't even know. Is reeling vertically. So we should copy this check to also be in other places. So this thing should perhaps not be here. This thing should be applied here. dot y should be minus. And then we have the same thing here. But instead of saying is reeling vertically, we should have this check right here. And this should be moved into the fishing check. Fishing. The fishing state. Alright, so now if it's here... Oh, what the frick? You should also be applying a force equal to the opposite direction. Oh no, it's stuck. It is in fact stuck. When my wife's out of town, I always make a fishing check. Am I right? What does he mean by this? What is a fishing check? What is he checking? Is it like mod check? This doesn't work. Oh, because you go to the bank to write a check, and you said the bank as in like the freaking the river bank? Is that it? Is that? I don't even know. Okay, so this one, you should apply a force that is equal to the opposite direction. Player.bobber.linear velocity. Negative of the linear velocity. But why is it not? Why is it not applying force equal to the negative velocity? No, it is. That's why it's not moving back and forth. But then, how do you get this thing centered? So we have offset the horizontal velocity, and it has stopped. But how do we get it back? And why is it stopping? Actually, no, this makes sense. Does it make sense? It doesn't really make sense. I don't really know. Things are happening. A lot of things are happening. And I do not understand. It also doesn't... the entire point we did this was to get the water to work. It doesn't work. Also, I'm like 9 minutes late to drinking water. I am going to drink water right now. Alright, I've done it. I've hydrated, just like Uma Musume. Welcome, Royal. If water don't work, try apply wind. No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I try apply wind? Has anyone even ever tried applying wind? I don't think so. That's not a real thing that people do. Not in this industry. Never fix RGB redeem. Didn't I remove it? It doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. It's not that I wanted to fix it. It's because I switched to a different program. I used to have a separate a thing that did these redeems, and now it's built into VTube Studio. And VTube Studio, I believe, does not have the thing in it anymore. I'm using VTube Studio. I was using VTube Studio before, but you would need to have a third-party thing to handle redeems for you, but now it just does it on its own. And the issue with the third-party app was that it would always use up way too much CPU and memory. And having it built into VTube Studio is much nicer. But it does not have a built-in RGB setting. But anyway, why is this not working? Why is this broken? Do I have VTube Studio Pro? That's not even a thing that exists. That's not even a thing. Who would have known that physics is so complicated out here? Doesn't even work. Doesn't even make sense. What about this? Whoa, what the? Do you see that? What is that? Oh, is it because I'm resetting the position? If I recast it when the rod is not, when the lure is not even near the player, maybe it teleports. Okay, but I can't recast it. I can only recast it once it's here. But then, okay, but then if I move, that's when it goes. I see. I understand now. Man, that's crazy. This is too much. This is way too much. Imagine physics. We have fallen through the earth. The water has no collision. Whee! Alright, what do I do with this though? This is so much more complicated. You can't simply control the position of a physics-based object. You have to apply forces to it, which makes it much more complicated. You have to know how physics works. Torque, constant force, integrate forces. It's too much. Way too much stuff going on here. You got inertia, you got gravity scale, center of mass, sleeping. Everything's here. Also, welcome Carabelle. Need max inertia? No. Because then it won't move. It simply will not move. Good morning to you. I think I was watching Vinesauce play Uma Musume yesterday. I think I saw you in the chat. Or it was someone else with a very similar name. He did not enjoy that game. He's like the first person I've seen play that game on stream who did not enjoy it. It was very disappointing. You believe that guy played Uma Musume and he hated it? He refused to care about it. Okay, so it was you. Instead of physics, make bobber move. You can't be doing that though. If you wanted to have interactions with the water though, you can't be doing that. Sure is a gacha game. Yeah, but it's also a roguelike. It's got stats. It's got a roguelite element where the previous character you had can pass on skills to the next character. There's a lot of stuff going on. Well, I don't know. Don't talk to me about horses passing on skills, then why are you even here, huh? If you don't want to hear about horses passing on skills, you gotta go somewhere else, man. That's all we ever talk about on this stream is horses and skills. Build water with polygons, apply random math. That's, you can't be doing that stuff. This week it's gotta be physically accurate. Simulation, what the frick is this? How did that happen? He's jumping, but he's not jumping. He's in the jump and he's dancing? What is this, Undertale? Deltarune? Okay. The body's a machine that turns A rank Ray Shower into what? I don't even know. Don't even know. I did download it, but I did not actually play it. I rolled for some characters and I was like, I don't really like this. And then I stopped. The older me would have been like, I'm gonna continue playing. I'm gonna go race the horses. Me, I was like, let's try it out. And then I didn't get what I wanted. I simply gave up. I will not be playing gacha. You wouldn't get it. I don't even understand, man. It doesn't even make sense. You're telling me that horses can do things? That's crazy, man. Alright, so the question for me, for myself, do I even want to go through with this physics simulation? Why don't I just have custom logic? Such that if in water, increase velocity until out of water, and then it'll just naturally bob up and down, right? Do I even want to bother with this? Physics-based calculations? More like physics cringed. Am I right, guys? Look at this. Do I even want that? Is that even a thing that anyone wants in this world? Maybe. But is this what I want though? I can't even get it to work. It's literally not even workable. How did they do it? It doesn't even collide. So we go back here, right? You go back to the inspector. Use collision shape, fluid damp, mass, physics material, mass distribution, collision, right? Collision is right here. It is on the bobber layer. It interacts with water. Remember when Pixar made a movie about fat people? WALL-E? The movie known as WALL-E? Yes, I do remember that movie. Okay, so this is the player. Fluid area 2D. Collision layer. This is the water layer. Do we need to turn on the mask? We put the bobber in the mask? It doesn't work. Guys, it simply just does not work. Density, simulate turbulence. Simulate, that sounds like a horse name. That's the next Uma Musume, simulate turbulence. It's gonna be the new 3-star and the new banner, simulate turbulence. Everyone's gonna go crazy for it. I don't know what to do. Why doesn't this work? Gravity, space override, linear damp, audio bus, disable mode, remove, priority, process. Guys, when am I gonna make a real game that isn't Vacuous Sugar Quest? This isn't even a real game. This is simply a tech demo. There's no gameplay here. What's he doing? Do you see this? It's falling, but it's not falling. Welcome, pork foo. I don't know. Issue is that it goes too far, you know? Like, what is it? What's it even doing now? What is that, guys? What's happening? It's too much. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. But what if we extended the static body to be really far down. And also to the left. Do you think that's the issue? Is that after some time it goes too far down? See, that seemed to fix something. Never mind. I was wrong. I was in fact incorrect. So maybe I abandon this entire thing. Floatable body, we could get it out of here. Just implement my own physics in a way that makes sense to me. But like, do I want to though? Maybe. Maybe I do want to. Although the issue I'm having right now is not even really with floatable body, it's simply with me not being able to control the thing that much. Like why is it going to the right? Why is it doing that? Oh, it's because of rotation. It should be the horizontal facing direction should have an effect. But I mean, that's only an issue when we're facing the left, right? If we're facing the right, it's fine. It's not fine. X-Job, what are you saying? What is bro even talking about? It doesn't even make sense. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of this. We're gonna implement our own physics. It's a thing every game developer loves here. I'm gonna implement my own physics. Surely this is going to go well. Okay, we've changed a lot since last time. Do I want to keep any of this stuff? Am I sure I want to undo this? I don't know. Do I really want to? Because I mean, it would be kind of cool though for this thing to be like real physics, you know? Because then it could like roll down hills. It could interact with things. But like, how many games even have real physics? Yeah, the real physics, that was an intentional thing. Welcome, Orfish. That was an intentional pun that I've made many times when developing this. Is it a fish called Walleye? No, that's the Disney movie. Physics movies. Physics movies? Why did I say physics movies? Physics. Okay, well there's many bugs here. There's several bugs that I simply just don't understand. Alright, fine. Let's undo this. Let's not even commit this code, because it doesn't work. Reset. And then also remove the floatable body add-on. You always gotta be careful with rm-rf. Reload from disk. We gotta reload the entire project. Alright, this is what we had before. Oh, I forgot we had that. I forgot we had this indicator. Yeah, implementing our own physics makes it easier also to implement this trajectory line, because we can predict where it's going to go. Without it, it's a bit more complicated. It's a bit complex. RMRF. What does the fishing hat asset say? It gets cut off. We don't really know. It's the traditional copy pasta, but it's cut off. The fish fear me, women fear me, all men turn their eyes away. Whatever, however that thing goes. You know how it is. You know what would be cool? if I had like, instead of using VTube Studio, if I wrote my own custom thing where I could have this character move around on the screen, let's say, you know, like how I point at things like this, drag my model around? What if instead of doing this, I had my own guy and he would walk around on the screen and he could like climb walls, and then you could detect like high transition contrast areas, and then you could like, this is now a wall now, you jump up here. It's like a platform, you could like climb up. Wouldn't that be cool? You seen a VTuber do that? I don't think so. And they could have it be in like Vacuous Sugar Quest, where you can like climb things and then like glide, and then like if I wanted to point at something, I'd like, you know, go up here, jump, and then like land somewhere, and then like walk over to it, and then be like, hey, look at this, guys. And then I could like, you know, do this thing, and like, oh, look at this, this is a cursor now. Wouldn't that be cool? Desktop hat? No, but it's for streams though. It is for streams. Put it in a maze? No. It's torture. You can't be torturing them. It's crazy. But yeah, you could jump around. You could have it, maybe you could like summon a ladder and then climb up the ladder to the thing you want to point at. You're like, look at this. There's a thing right there. I only want it to be in OBS. Why would I want it to be on my desktop? That's absurd. Imagine. Because on my desktop, that's what I'm streaming from. If I'm playing a game in full screen or whatever, if it's on my desktop, it would not work. Summon a helicopter and draw a circle around the thing. That's too violent though. It's too much violence. OBS made it look like it's somewhat difficult so that in a plugin, what? OBS made it look like it's somewhat difficult so that in a plugin without having another view on a source. Made it somewhat difficult so that in a what? Made it difficult to do that in a plugin without having another view. It would probably be a browser source that would load a transparent Godot program or whatever, and then it would just move around. That's what I assume it would be. That is not the hard part. The OBS integration? What do you mean? I'm not going to have it be controlled via OBS. I'm going to have it be controlled in Godot. I would have like something else to move it around. Are you saying like if I were to click around in OBS to get it to move there? No, that's not what I meant. I meant I would have it be controlled via some other thing. Maybe like plug in a controller on my Mac or something. I don't know. Or my MIDI controller that I had that I don't use. I could consider having MIDI support. It could be Stream Deck controlled. There's a lot of options. Stream Deck would be nice. Anyway, what am I doing? Well, what am I doing? I've accomplished nothing today. I've tried implementing physics and have not actually had any success. Alright, what if I redo this? What if I redo this? Also, I have not done much at work today. I was like watching people play Uma Musume the entire day, pretty much. Dan Giesling was playing it, I watched that, and then like after he was done with it, Northern Line was playing it, I watched that. It's strangely fun to watch. I'm playing Project Manager at work today. Is that the new gacha game? Maybe you should start playing it so I don't feel bad about playing it myself. I did mention that I downloaded it. I rolled and then I did not actually play. So I simply am not going to play it. It's my job. I don't. That was the joke. It sounds like a gacha game. Fun to watch, but not to play. Because I feel like if I played it, I probably would not watch the races. Right? Like, the fun part about watching people stream it is that when they watch the races, like, in full, they don't, like, skip through to the end. If I were playing it, I'd just be like, I'm just gonna skip this, because, like, it doesn't actually matter if I watch it. It's just how it is. I did the same but uninstalled before I even opened it. Then why did you even install it though? Think of all the precious data that you wasted. That was the joke. It was the joke. Me when I tell a joke. That was in fact a joke. Top player of the match was predetermined? That's exactly it. They've already decided who won. You're just watching events that have already been computed on the server. You think there's any control? No, as soon as you hit that button, the server is like, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna run over here. You're gonna activate these skills. And we're simply a client that's showing us what the server has decided. I looked at it and went, can I even do this right now? The answer was no. What do you mean by can you do it though? Surely you can do it. You could totally do it. Okay, what if instead of implementing physics, I add some art to the game? What if I worked on a tile set? Have we considered doing this? I felt like it would take a lot of time. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I don't want to get into it. Gacha games, they do take up a lot of time that I could be spending on other things. Other things such as watching streamers. On the other hand, this time I actually feel the FOMO. Yeah, everyone's like really into it. I have like all these tweets on my timeline about it. They're like, hey, do you know that this horse is actually blah blah blah? That the real horse was actually something or other? It's crazy. Were you aware that horse was existing? It's a real horse. Grid. Alright, we are going to do some backgrounds. And by backgrounds, I mean about what? Tile sets, yes. What if we simply copy it from Vacuous Sugar Quest? Is that a thing that I could do? The social aspect makes me want to do this. Isn't this how I got into League in the first place and into anime too? Yeah, but like League is bad though. That's the difference. League is toxic. Horses, that's not toxic. Glue is like the most non-toxic thing out there, surely. It sounds like Azur Lane, the real battleship, but less interesting. Yeah, who even cares about the real ships? Can't believe Wolfie would steal assets from indie dev Wolfie? He would never. You think he would do that? No. Texas? Oh, I see. The shape? No, this is simply the dual grid texture. What if I made this based on Celeste? Celeste tile set. What if I followed this tutorial and I just made Celeste? Do you know how Celeste tiles work? So that they simply, you just have the inner tiles are black. You start off like this, everything the same color. And then you choose a solid color. And then you make everything that's not on the exterior, you make it a dark color like black. And then you add outline to the edge. And then you have some details such that you can see things on the edge instead of just being a solid line. You have various details. And then you randomize so there's a variety. And then the infill tile, okay, and then you add these inner tiles. If they're next to an outer tile, you simply add a random inner tile. But only if it's next to it. Like, if it's here, there's nothing. It's only if it's there. And then you add props to the foreground, like snow and grass. You add the background tiles. And you have props. And then you got other background. It's that simple. Literally anyone could do it. This is actually why Vacuous Sugar Quest was named Celeste. Because it started off with me trying to like imitate this tile set style. And then it eventually became its own thing. But yeah. But do I want to do this right now? I don't know if I do. What am I even doing? I just like start the stream and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then I work on something and then I don't actually do it. And then I just do it off stream. What am I doing? What kind of game is this even going to be? Have you, and by you I mean me, have me even considered what game this is going to be? No. I did originally say that this was going to be like a loading screen, you know, waiting room, and not an actual like interactable game. But like we have this stuff built in, right? It controls so nicely. It would be a waste to have it not be a game, right? But like, what would it be? What would it even be? An incremental game? You start off, you start fishing, and then you upgrade your rod, buy more expensive bait. You can also start making it that overlay thing. Yeah, but I don't know about that. I don't know if I actually want to do that. I just thought it'd be cool. What if I stop using VTube Studio? I just had my entire thing be this. Get this guy off the screen. Like, does this VTube Studio model even add anything to this stream? Like, what if instead of this, I was simply just this guy, huh? Hey guys, it's me. Whoa, hey. Welcome at Bams ZZ. Is this Pokemon? I can see where you would get that from, because this thing is shaped very similarly to a Pokeball, but it's not. It does add to it a lot. Does it though? I feel like the most it really adds is when I'm pointing at stuff. Like when I watch VTubers, I feel like most of the time I don't even notice the VTuber anymore. Although like sometimes they do take up like half the screen. It's like if they're here and then they're blocking a bunch of gameplay. There are some streamers that do this. This is like the entire stream. Wouldn't it be so distracting if I did this? Also, look, you can note that my mouth movement does not really match very well, because I'm using a webcam and it's like not that good quality. All the good VTubers, they use like iPhone tracking. And though like I have an iPhone and I could probably use it, but like I don't really want to have that set up. And also it's pretty dark in my room, so like my mouth movements do not match up like at all. Sometimes I'm not even talking and then it's like moving. Okay, not always, but sometimes. I'm making a game. I still don't know yet what this is going to be. It could be a game. It could be an interactive stream overlay. I thought I bought a phone for VTube Studio tracking. No, I bought a phone because my Android phone died. And I decided I'm done with Android. And then I got an iPhone, and it's good. I did not buy it specifically for VTube Studio. But I could have. I could have done it, but I simply didn't. Yeah, I don't think I'm going back to Android. I'm like all in now. I've got AirPods. I've gotten it synchronizes with iCloud. I got my Mac Mini. I could airdrop files to my computer. Here's a really cool thing, is that if on my Mac I control C to copy something, if I go to my phone or my my iPad, I can paste directly from what I copied from my desktop. Now you're like, oh, but you could do that on Android. It's not built in, okay? It's not automatic. Or like download two things. No, it's literally built in. It's been so useful, actually. Sometimes I'll be like drawing something on iPad, and then like I want to like copy a color from like an image. It's like I could open it on the iPad and then color pick it, but then like I already have it open on my desktop. I just like copy the color code, and then like if I just paste it within 5 seconds, it's there. Welcome Hiberius. Yeah, that's what it's called, handover. KDE Connect. Yeah, but then what do you download on your Android for that? KDE. Isn't that Northern Lion's wife? KDE? It doesn't make sense. Imagine if that made sense. It does kind of makes sense. Plus 4, that's too much. That's way too much. What am I doing? I've just been jumping around in game. Jumping, he's jumping. Right, I was gonna work on art. That's what I said. Okay, so what are we doing here? What if we add some Celeste sprites? Have we considered maybe adding Celeste sprites? And by sprites I mean tile set. Believe it or not, you download KDE Connect on your phone. What the? You're telling me that you download KDE Connect on multiple devices? Unbelievable. Could not even imagine. Yes, I would assume that it would also work on iPhone. It would make sense. Alright, what if we spend the stream doing this? We start off, we have basic geometry. Very basic geometry. Solid colors. Like a brown color, perhaps. I love KDE Connect, do you though? Welcome, Michael Hunt. How many of you use Linux? Like right now? Linux users, are you using Linux right now? Are you in fact doing it at this moment? Literally right now? On my work laptop, this guy's working. You're telling me that this guy is working. Our laptop has Pop OS. Isn't there like an exclamation mark and an underscore in Pop OS though? Arch Linux? No. Yes. Pop underscore OS exclamation mark. I knew it. Pop OS? What am I doing? Okay, we have dark color. Okay, dark color. What if this is the solid color, and then when you have grass, I mean, and by grass I mean Soil. Dirt. Dirt even. Dirt! Uma Musume reference? Dirt? Holy frick. He's so Uma Musume pilled. He sees dirt and he thinks Uma Musume. I might have to go to Linux when they abandon Windows 10 because they don't trust Windows 11. I think Linux is very usable nowadays. Like if you're not playing like League of Legends or like Valorant or whatever, like I imagine most games are probably playable. Things that don't have like kernel level anti-cheat probably work pretty well. Live 2D cubism? Do you do live 2D rigging? Is that a thing? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it works. It runs, yeah, but does it run well though? Does it run well? Okay, so this one's going to be tiles. Tileset.asprite as a hobby. What the? The Proton, a lot of games work without issues. Exactly. Can you play Uma Musume Pretty Derby on Linux? That's where the 2D in my name. What? I had no idea that you did that. I thought that it would just because like 2D, you know, anime 2D, fans of 2D things. You're telling me it's because of live 2D? I had no idea. It runs fine. Probably runs better on normal desktop like KDE. You've checked. Oh, did you download Uma Musume on your desktop on Linux? I thought you meant on your phone. I don't know why I would think that. Android is in fact a type of Linux. It's particularly into live 2D. What the? Did it on phone? Yeah, I downloaded it on my iPad because I didn't know how much space it would take. Proton. You know what's surprising to me though is that like macOS can play apps that were meant for iPhone and Android. Sorry, not Android. Well, okay, via emulator. But like it has a built-in way to play iPhone and iPad apps. But then like it only works for like some things. Like if the developer does not natively support it, it's not supported. So like I was like, oh, what if I can just download Uma Musume from the App Store? Because it is an iPhone app. It does not work. I guess maybe it only really works for like basic like UI applications. I don't know. There's various things, you know, to consider. You can play Genshin? That's crazy. Genshin Impact? John Genshin. Will Mac do face tracking like iPhone? For what? For what specifically? YouTube Studio? Oh, the App Store? Well, yeah, I know Genshin Impact supports it. I don't know. It doesn't have LiDAR. It does not. It sure doesn't, though. What am I doing? Like, not actually. I feel like I can't focus today. There's something about today's stream. Something's off. I will like by the time I end this stream, I'll be like, what did I accomplish today? Nothing. I tried out physics. It did not work. I drew like 2 rectangles on this screen. We gotta lock in. If we want to make the next hit game, it's gotta have focus, you know. Is there gameplay concept? Nope. And I think that is the problem. Is that I have not really determined what it's going to be. What if this was a deck building roguelike? Where you have scripted story events and you choose things to raise the stat of the player, and then they go on automated competitions. And sometimes if you have enough points in something, you can activate special skills. And then and also he's a horse for some reason, and he participates in races, but also sometimes fishing. What if that was a thing? And also there was gacha. Maybe we can add some gambling. I don't know. Like another thing that I could do, just like a regular fishing game, but then like the fishing minigame is like Picross themed. Right? That was like an idea that I had some time ago, where like fishing, instead of like clicking or like dragging or like having the fish be within a certain range or whatever, or timing the thing, what if a big Picross popped up and you solved it fast? Have we considered this? From the angle and what Wolfie's been fiddling around with, looks like Link's Awakening fishing. Yeah, that was the thing. 4x4, no, it's gonna be 5x5. Random 5x5 Picross. Just a lot of small Picrosses that you can solve. Or like, what if there was like multiple Picrosses on screen? There's like maybe like 4 5x5 Picrosses. And then like you solve them, but then like the fish is moving between them. So then it's like you gotta solve like part of this, and then oh no, the fish is over here now. Let me start solving this one. And then it goes back and you're like, okay, then let me finish this one. And then it counts as part of this thing. And then a new one shows up and the fish moves somewhere else. I don't know, there's some things, there's something there, right? What if you use controlled randomness to stock the fish? When you catch a fish, you get consumables to influence the randomness. Controlled randomness to stock the fish. Stock fish, isn't that the chess bot? When you catch a fish, you get consumables to influence the randomness. What is an example of this? Okay, let me draw out my idea. Okay, we got paint. No, we can't use the native paint. JS paint. So like, okay. You're like here, right? You're fishing. Right, and then there's like a fish, right? The fish is biting. But then as you're fighting against the fish, you have this mini game that shows up. Right, and then you got like a fish is swimming around on the screen. And then you have multiple 5x5 Picrosses on the screen. Right, imagine this being a solvable Picross. I know this is a 4x3 right now, but imagine it was a 5x5. And you start solving the puzzle, right? As you're solving the puzzle, the fish moves around the different regions. There's like several of them. There's maybe like, I don't know, there's like 4 of them or something. You catch a carp, summon a brown fish, which could be a carp or something rarer. Maybe. Alright, so you got this fish, right? It's like it's moving around, it's like, oh, it's over here now. And it's like, oh, now it's over here. So then you're solving things, and then, you know, once you have successfully filled in and solved the Picross, it will give you points. But it'll give you more points if the fish is like in that region. So like, let's say the fish was like here. Whoops. The fish is like, I can't, why am I selecting the wrong thing? The fish is here, right? If the fish is up here, you get more points for solving this one. But then let's say by the time you solve this one, the fish is now over here. Then you're like, oh shoot, I gotta start like solving this one, and then you start solving this one. I don't know if this is engaging. Is there like a way to make this interesting? Because like the way to work around this is simply to just like solve most of it, and then just wait until the fish goes into the region you want, and then finish solving it. But I don't think that's very engaging. Or like if you just have like a bunch of small Picross puzzles. I don't know. There's something. Actually, what if we just search itch.io for Picross theme games? But they're not like literally just, they're like Picross, but like with something else. If you're willing to abandon the idea of Picross, you can also draw walls around the fish. Oh, what if it's like Go? Like Gomoku? Gomoku, but it was a fish. Yo, this is Nelly's nonograms. Oh, Pokemon Range. Okay, so you draw circles around it. Interesting. Nono Battle? What is this? Nonogram Battle? What the heck is this? Competitive nonogram game with skill-based matchmaking. 2 players are challenged to solve the same number. If you win first, you win the duel. I don't know. Pokemon Ranger. How do I make this good? Because I feel like if I am able to make a Picross game with fishing, it would be like a good intersection of like someone plays this and they're like, oh, that's totally, I could understand why this is a Wolfie game. Right? It's like an intersection of 2 things that I do on my stream. I don't know. It's got to be something, right? And there has to be something. Fishing. What if we have a fish, and then the fish, it's like swimming. The fish is swimming, and then the Picross. What if once you solve it, it becomes a cage, and then the cage falls on the fish? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. What if... It's gotta be something. I could probably do this brainstorming off stream instead of spending valuable stream time doing this. What if the fish was actually a thing? Brainstorming on stream is fun, it's a social thing. Yeah, but that assumes that chatters are here to brainstorm with me. What if the fish was... what if... Welcome Nanodan. Weather's all clear. Nanodan wasn't even streaming. He was at the Anime Expo. Hope you had a good time at the Anime Expo. I'm currently doing my summer sale shopping. What about Steam Picross? Nonogram. Wait, you know how they were able to turn Minesweeper into a roguelike? What if I could do that with Picross somehow? Like, we had, what was that game called? Demon Crawl? Like, what if that, but it was Picross? Although I guess it is a bit different because Picross is like solvable, whereas I can't use words today. Whereas the other game is got randomness. It is not necessarily solvable. You can use items to help you. But like Picross, you don't really need help, right? It is inherently solvable. So like where would the roguelike aspect even come in? Doesn't even make sense. Notogram. Voxelgram. There has to be something. It's gotta be. Penguin Fantasy Mosaic. Isn't this the game that Hexadigital plays? Fantasy Mosaics. Aggregator Elevator System. What the heck is that? Pixel Logic. Michael's Nonograms? What the? Hey, is that that's the lo-fi? That's the lo-fi girl. Are they allowed to do that? No goes. What if the puzzles were immediately generated? You could call Instagram. I think that name's already taken though. Kind of feel like I would get into legal trouble if I name my game that. That's the Mario font. Puzzle Cross? Is it? What the frick is this? It's 3D. I should drink water though. It is in fact 7 p.m. Alright. I have hydrated. What about the game known as Picross? What if it was literally Picross? Has anyone heard of Ouzboros? Isn't this like a game? Picross X Picbits Ouzboros? How does this game even work? You solve a bunch of 5x5 nonograms. Get points. Making a mistake makes the Ouzboros bite a pickbit. Can we watch gameplay of this? What does this game even look like? Where's the video? Mute the audio. Oh, Jupiter? I didn't know Jupiter made this. I guess that would make sense. You're only allowed to use the word Picross if you are Jupiter. It's a Picross that focus on high-speed puzzles. You gotta solve quick puzzles. It's for beginners and experts. Got a tutorial. And then the faster you do it, the more points you get. But then what? Focus on skillfully. Oh, there's text on the bottom. What the? Why would Nintendo do this? You see that? They're blocking off the text on the bottom of the screen. You can't even see it. Only Nintendo's allowed to call things Picross. Jupiter can't even use it on other platforms. What? What about oh no, that is true. Yeah, they released that other game, right? What's it called? Logi Arc Grimoire. Logi Arc Grimoire. They only were able to use the Picross name on Nintendo platforms. Although they released it on Steam, that thing did not have Picross in the title. Logic Paint. Puzzle Grid. What is Puzzle Grid? Customize skills. Wait, what do these skills do? You can deal damage. Customize skills. Try out skills. Wait, yo, what if Picross, but it had like enemies on the grid? So you have to like not put a piece there until later? I don't know. something. This has nothing to do with fishing, by the way. This is totally unrelated, but like it could be related somehow. This could be the mini game in the fishing game. Items. Picross with item. They have bombs. What are those? Play data from the Picross S series. Relax and have fun. There's gotta be something to this. We have to, and by we I mean I have to think of something. There has to be something. Roguelike Picross. Thinking about making, what if I steal this guy's idea? Thinking about making a Picross roguelike. Each run would be progressively larger puzzles. There's not really anything here. Picto Quest. No items mode. My fall in the camp of Picross nonogram fans that plays at a leisurely pace without hints. Not really as a pass-fail kind of game. Yeah, it would not have hints. Hints are just for people that don't know the game. Hints are detrimental to the enjoyment of Picross. How would I do it though? Challenge Picross? These games are not similar to Picross. I've played this one. It is not similar to Picross. This game though, this game is similar to Picross. Sonic suggests that does not look like Picross to me. Wait, is this just games that I've played? Recommend. Oh, this is probably influenced by games I've played. If I had this in like in an incognito tab, it probably would suggest different games. No, actually it doesn't. Oh. But these are all games. Is it because I have played these? Does it have my IP? What's the one with that convict? Which one? This one? Criminal fauna identification? What, the VTuber? I don't know. Well, this stream pretty much was a waste. This stream's not even over. What am I doing? Kind of curious about it because of the pixel art. Well, you can check it out then. If that interests you, you can feel free to take a look. Oh, we played this one. This one was, it was like an RPG. Go around solving puzzles. I never actually got back to it. Notograms on Pico 8. Oh. Well, anyway. What am I doing? What are we even doing here? Made for the Epic Wii Cultural Game Jam. The thematic here was the lagoon. It was made with the objective offering, ridiculous designs, the lagoon's fauna. I have not purchased anything in the Steam Summer Sale. I don't know if I will. Probably not. Okay, what if I implemented collision for water? If I simply just had a water shape and then checked whether the bobber was on water and then moved it up and down. Welcome Probs on Jack. What about Uma Musume? I've talked about this already. We've talked about this so much actually. Picked up Final Fantasy IX. And that's a good one. I played that game and it was good. I never finished it, but what I do remember of having played it was that it was good. And I think that's neat. Alright, let's add an area 2D or a static body. Area 2D. And then a collision shape. And then this collision shape specifically is going to be the same thing. It's interesting because I feel like I picked up some spoilers. What the? Spoilers about Final Fantasy IX? That's impossible. Alright, so we have this one. German rejecting your JRPG suggestion. Final Fantasy IX? I get it. It's because 9 means no in German. The joke explainer has explained. Now you know. And if you did not know, now you will understand. And that's comedy. Wait, why is this thing... Oh, did I accidentally move this thing around? Did I change this from... But why is this thing off center? Did I move the root node? Oh no. Alright, let's undo everything. What did I change? Wait, has it been like that the whole time? Layout? What the? Is this thing not over there? Maximize? What the? Alright, well, I don't know what that's about. I don't even know what the story is about, just that Vivi is very cool, maybe courageous. Zidane has a tail. That's the guy from soccer. That's the guy who headbutted the other guy. Remember that? Do you all remember that soccer match? Where the dude headbutted another guy? I remember. I also watched it live, but not in the stadium. I watched it live on TV. It was a pretty big deal. It feels like everyone was into it. I feel like nowadays though, not as usual. That's unusual. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I feel like everyone cared about that soccer match for some reason. 2006 World Cup. I don't know. Probably. It was probably a thing. Alright, collision layer. This is going to be water. Water a layer. Was the last World Cup I really cared about? Yeah, I think the same for me. I don't really care about soccer, but something about that one, everyone was really into it. Why was that? Like, was America even involved? Like, why did I care about it? It was in Germany. It was a pretty... They even referenced it on Space Bros. All I remember was 7-1. I don't even remember that. The only thing I remember was the headbutt. Everything else was like, I don't know. Whatever. The headbutt though, that was cinema. Binema. You might even say binema. Alright, so we gotta check collisions. Window. Check. Area 2D. Collisions. You're conflating the World Cups? I can't believe this, man. I could not even believe. Me watching it live is surprising. Is it though? Because that was a long time ago. That was like more than 10 years ago. It felt like 20 years ago, actually. Area exited, timer node, timeout signal. It is 20 years ago. Oh, it was 2006. I thought you meant it was 2014. Okay, so that makes sense then. Because I was pretty sure that I was not in college at that point. I was like in school. High school, maybe middle school. What school was I even in? 14. I was like, how old was I? 14 or 15. No, I was like 13. Wait, 15. I don't know. Yeah, which school was I even in? Which public school in New York was I even in? Do we even know? How to check collisions. Area entered. I'd be in middle school? Probably. It's been so long, I just don't remember. Let's see. Collision shape. Do I have to add another area 2D? Is that how it works? Area 2. Let's add another area 2D. Can this reuse the same collision shape? Is that another one? Collision shape 2D. And then this shape is literally the same one. So if I change this one, I should also change the other one. It does. Okay, that's good. Alright, so this will be water detection. Water check. Okay, and then you put this access as unique name. And then you go to the script. You check out the bobber. And then you have the water check is right here. Wait, you don't even need that. You just need to connect the signal. Alright, so water check is going to have a collision detection for water layer. And then this will be area entered. Connect on water check area entered. This one, you will have velocity times equals negative 0.8. Velocity dot y actually. Oh no, but this should apply when in water. Okay, so we're gonna have area entered and exited. We'll have a var is in water is false. And then this will have is in water equals true. And then is in water equals false. And then if is in water, velocity line times equals this. I don't actually know where the water is. Oh, there it is. Oh, what the heck? Okay, if you are in water, you should also velocity.x times equals 0.5. Perhaps. Oh wait. Okay, that is going. It should be, instead of multiplied by, it should be moves toward, right? It should be moves toward. Velocity y equals move toward from velocity.y to negative velocity dot y times 0.09, 0.9. The rate will be, I don't know, delta maybe? Maybe 10 times delta. You burned another pot. I'm sure I said it on the lowest heat. Can't believe this guy. What is this guy even doing? They didn't teach this velocity? Doesn't even know about velocity. Alright, that doesn't work. Why doesn't that work? Move toward negative. Oh, because you gotta set it to be. Right, because every frame it's inverting velocity. You want to move toward negative of absolute velocity. That's what you want. It doesn't work. Move toward negative absolute velocity. Maybe it should be 100 times delta? He meant a pot on the stove, not a clay pot. Why would he mean a clay pot though? How would that even work? Okay, so why does this not work? Move toward this thing. Negative absolute velocity. This appears to not be working. Velocity dot y times negative 0.7. Okay. This thing changes every frame. It should be equal to. Oh, because we never undo it. That's why. Wait, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It should be absolute velocity dot y. And then if you're not in water, then oh, okay. This should be gravity should only be enabled if you're not in the water. Maybe that's the issue. Alright, it should be Elif. Elif, the streamer with the godot emotes. Elif. This thing should be here. And then, specifically this. It does not work. Why does it not work? Parameter area is never used. I mean, that's fine. Water check area entered. Elephant. Velocity y should move toward a negative velocity y, which means it should be moving upward. It should be moving upward. But then what if you set this thing to this? Oh, do you see that? Oh, because the water doesn't actually extend all the way to the bottom. That's why, because at some point it leaves the water. I see. So it should actually be going all the way down. And then it should go back up, right? It's not going back up. It probably has reached the bottom of this, so we make it even more. What? It appears to be stuck. Okay, what if we put like land underneath it? What if it's like this? And then this area is actually got multiple collision shapes. Well, okay, this should really be a polygon. It should be a polygon, collision polygon. Collision polygon. Me when my parrot is hit by a car. That's too morbid. Polygon. Guys, poly is a usual name for a bird, especially like a parrot. Collision and other such things. Cancel him. Unbelievable. Okay, we're gonna change this shape. Okay, we're gonna have how do I set the polygon? You gotta click on some things. Create points. Create one point there. Create a point right there. Another point right there. And there, and there. Alright, we have some shapes. You can't really see them. Is there a way to like enable the visibility? Oh, what if you modulate? Wait, no, they're not visible. If I can show collision shapes, visible collision shapes. Alright. So we have water. You can see the water right there. And it has become stuck. It is now stuck. How do I make it not stuck? So if it is in water, velocity y should move toward the negative velocity. But why is it not? Oh, because velocity is 0 at some point, right? Okay, what if we did this? What if we simply did this? Just bounce? It simply just bounced? What the heck? Alright, Godot, how to simulate water, but like easy. Godot water bobbing effect. Truly reactive 2D water. What the? Welcome, Delusive Maki. Trochiad waves. Is that a real thing? This seems too advanced though. Trochoidal wave. The wave height. Euler equations for periodic surface gravity waves. But this is like about the water though, right? I mean like an object that's in the water. I want it so that when the object is in this area 2D, it goes up and down when it lands. No, I think the move towards would make sense here, but I don't know why it doesn't work. Move toward... Oops. Move toward... So you want the velocity to move toward the negative. Is that what I want? Move toward velocity dot y, negative of absolute velocity y. I'm sorry, from velocity dot y to this thing. Gives the absolute point so it becomes 0. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's what the issue is. But then how do I make it so that it continues to go though? Like it should bounce up slightly. I don't know. Surely there's some better way to do this. Like this one seems a bit more complex than what I would want. And it also seems to be about the waves rather than the objects in the wave. Do I just want like dampening equation when object is in a body of water? A body of water. Dampen game dev, dampen velocity when in water. I don't know. Velocity damping. Fluid dynamics. E to the negative x. Particle-based fluid system. Simple. Okay, hold on. Velocity times damping. Update position. Okay, this is built in. Transform position. Velocity times damping. Apply force. Repulsive force. Extending the example. Okay, I don't know. E to the negative x. So velocity dot y. What is x in this case? E to the negative x. Unity particle system. The art of damping. Time. Oh, x is time. Would that be velocity though? E to the negative. I mean, but then would we need like time in water? Var time in water is 0. And then if you have entered the water, it's 0. And then on exit, it's also 0. And then if you are in water, then velocity dot y. I don't know. Does this even make sense? E. Well, is it necessary to use E? Where do I put the actual velocity in? Initial velocity when entered. What? No, there's got to be a better way. I will have to read up on this. Spring-based water system. Water system, the spring goes down based on velocity. I don't know, man. Math. Buoyancy. Okay, this is what I want. Buoyancy. Apply buoyancy. I just realized my air purifier has been on 2 speed this entire stream. I usually set it down to 1 speed. I don't know if it affected my sound quality at all. I've turned it back down to 1. It might sound exactly the same. Okay, this guy has something. If underwater, apply buoyancy here. If in the air, subject to gravity. It's fresh, but does it sound any different though? It probably sounds the same. Here is the code for the solution I came up with. Really proud of how clean it is. Alright, let's see. If not underwater. Does this annoy you guys when people do if and then not, and then later they have an else? Why not just invert the condition and put this stuff up here? If I were reviewing this code, I'd be like, you can simply invert the expression because you have an else. There's no need to do that. This makes sense. Does it though? Does it make sense? Like if is underwater, then you have to know that this else is like if you are underwater. Alright, so how do they do it? If direction is equal approximately... Wait, is this Godot? Because Godot does have... is equal... No, it's not. This is, Wait, what is this? Is this actually Godot? It's Python. It looks very similar. For a while. You gotta wait though. Okay, Python also has a wait. Velocity. Alright, so let's see. So if you are underwater, I don't care about horizontal at the moment. Direction y, velocity y is plus equal direction y. Okay, so this is like if you have pressed up. Water acceleration. Handle buoyancy. They have shallow and deep water. Velocity y equals base buoyancy, depth? No. Why would I? Okay, they care about how deep you are in the water. This line stops the trampoline effect. If we're not buoyant, you should not be moving up. This line stops the trampoline effect at lerp. This would be move toward. Move toward velocity y. Water friction times delta. Do we just want to move toward 0? That doesn't make sense. The else covers the fact that it's exactly on the water and over the water. I mean, maybe. That doesn't make sense though. Because then it would still be if not underwater. Game mathematics? No. Clamp movement to water speed. Trampoline effects. Velocity y goes toward 0. But that would just cause it to like stop. It would have it go up a little bit and then it would stop. But I want it to continue going up until you're at the surface. And then when you're at the surface, you should go up even more, and then that's when gravity applies. That's when you gotta consider various things. Maybe that's why they have depth, because like after you hit a certain point, that's when you start applying the negative, and then it goes back up. But surely there's a way where you don't have to do it like this. Buoyancy. Can we? What if I just search game dev buoyancy? What is that? Game dev boyfriend cure? Game dev buoyancy in the water. Gerster waves. Gerstner waves. Wait, I've heard this before. Where have I heard this? Gerstner waves. Force of buoyancy versus force of gravity. Buoyancy always winning. Winning? That's an Uma Musume reference. Depth counts if water pressure. Man. I can't believe this. Gerstner wave. What is a Gerstner wave? No, this has got like displacements. Steepness. Tangents? No, that's too much. Me when I see numbers, that's way too much. Water interaction model for boats. Vehicle physics for boat physics. The hydrostatic force dF is equal to Pigs Diesen. It's the other term for trochoidal waves. Oh man. Freaking Gerstner. Structure of the algorithm. Calculate the hydrostatic and hydrodynamic forces. What the what the heck? It's pretty complicated. I just wanted to like hit the water and then go back up a little bit. Is there a way to just make it easy? Is there a simple... Do video games fake buoyancy? How to implement buoyancy? A general solution. Alright, so if in water, move toward... What if instead of move toward absolute negative, what if you move toward like a known value? What if you just do this, huh? And you should also make it so that your x velocity has some dampening. I don't know. Let's hard code something for now. Okay, but at some point it should stop. It should at some point stop doing this. Is that where the depth calculation comes in? Instead of moving toward negative 100, you should move toward a value based on the depth. Welcome, Zeb. It doesn't stop because the water is jello. That's not true. It can't be true. Need some dampening. Okay, so it's like if you are if you are above the water, and the gravity is there though. Gravity handle. What if instead of negative 100 it was negative 10? I mean that seems alright. No, it should go up faster. Should it be acceleration instead of velocity? I don't know. It's quite complicated math. Alright, what if we start off, we move the player closer. Yeah, acceleration would make sense. Fourier transformations, the advanced usage of integral, harmonics, realistic water. I mean, I did try using a plugin for like actual water, but it forced me to use like physics objects, and it was kind of complicated. Alright, so buoyancy is a force, so maybe we have acceleration. Var acceleration. Alright, so acceleration. As we start off, acceleration is equal to gravity. Right, and then if you are in the water, wait, hold on. Velocity plus equals acceleration. Now you may be like, Wolfie, this is not the correct way to, you should use Verlet integration. No, this is fine for now. Velocity, you should use RK4, which is very inefficient for stuff like this. Okay, so then if you are in water, you should have acceleration. Acceleration is equal to velocity. You gotta have times delta. Acceleration, we should add, would we be adding to it every frame though? That feels like a bit much. Oh no, because we set it to gravity. So you should then accelerate toward negative. What about something higher than gravity? Some sort of like gravity times 2, perhaps? What if it just no, there's gotta be something. gravity plus equals acceleration times, well, acceleration just equals negative acceleration. What if we just did that? And then this one, I mean, we don't need anything here, right? Is this anything? Guys, is this even anything? Whoops. Whoa, okay, wait. It kind of works. Okay, I see. I see. It just needs a bit more dampening. A lot more dampening. Acceleration should be equal to negative acceleration. What if it was divided by 2? I see. No, I said I see. I know you were intentionally misinterpreting my message, as that is the thing that I do as well. But I refuse. Okay, so wow, what's wrong with this one? Why is it going like so far though? Like when it lands, it goes like this. Buoyant force is calculated as volume of displaced fluid times some constraints. That doesn't look right. Yeah, it looks like the physics is not working. Wait, how do I get this to look good? What if it was this? No. Like why does it go down so fast? Oh, it's because gravity. I should be applying gravity all the time. Yeah, welcome Dice Queen Die. Were you also doing Godot game dev? Welcome Stencil, welcome Professor Sapling, welcome Nom D Plum, welcome Dice Queen, and Graphic Pabst. Not today. Monster Hunter Wilds. I hope you had a good time hunting those monsters. I hope you hunted several monsters. Rathalos is there, right? I know Monster Hunter. I don't actually know Monster Hunter. But Rathalos, that's a monster that you hunt. That's like the only monster that I know. I'm sure there's others. Anyway, we are making a fishing game. We're trying to figure out water physics. This doesn't look correct to me. There's something about this is wrong. We're trying to figure out like buoyancy. I don't really know. I'm sure this is probably something I'll figure out off stream. But how do we need acceleration of acceleration? Because like the issue here is that when you hit the water, it goes down too much and then it goes back down and then it goes like really far. The forces acting on the body would be buoyancy going up, gravity going down, friction going against current velocity of the body. So you're telling me that velocity y should be dampened? By some amounts, perhaps? Wait, that looks pretty... Okay, besides this though, it looks a bit more natural. Although, don't bobbers like not go that far down though? Shouldn't it just like go like land like a little bit and then go back up? Should I put this in like when you enter the water? Like immediately lower your velocity? It depends on weight. What if you immediately set it to like 0.5? What if you immediately set it to 0.2? Have I watched a video of someone throwing a bobber? I have not. Wait, that looks alright. They do go pretty... Okay, what about 0.5? But surely they don't go this deep. Well, actually, no, maybe that's fine. Maybe that's totally fine. But then once it's up here, though, we need it to stop going up like this. I don't like the fact that it's doing this. How do I stop that? Velocity.y. I would have thought that this would set it to 0 at some point. Because it keeps going up and down into the water. Oh no, because like this would affect gravity, right? Maybe because like gravity would still be affecting it. I don't know. We just don't know. But I mean, it looks better now. You can clamp velocity when, if near the edge of the water. But then I would need like a detection thing to know that it's near the edge. This currently just is an area. We could have many such areas. They may not even be like this. Or maybe if velocity is less than a certain amount, just have it be 0. Wait, oh, maybe we also have it when you exit the water. No. What if when you exit the water... Thanks for clapping, people in the song. Thanks for clapping. What if we just... I don't know. Doesn't make sense to just set it to 0. Oh no, it does that even when 0? Why is that? What the heck? There's probably some kind of like floating point rounding issues going on. It's probably going like between -0.9 and -0.95 or whatever. Alright, whatever. So now what? Now we should adjust the reeling in state such that you can still reel things past the wall. Actually, okay, we need to update this to detect is in water. Is on floor. Or player.bobber is in water. Testing when exiting water acceleration equals 0. Acceleration. No, because we reset it. We reset it every frame to be equal to this. Yeah, we need to adjust this slightly. Actually, acceleration doesn't even need to be here. It's not actually persisted between frames. Well, okay, hold on. Let's test this one out. Okay, so you can reel in. The issue is here is that when it's on a wall, we can handle that simply by checking is on wall. So let's see. So if bobber is on wall, this one should be player.bobber is on wall. If bobber is not on wall. All right. Oh, what the heck? What the what the heck? So it does go up. That is not what I want. What if I'm all the way back here? What the heck? Bobber's not on wall. Then you do this. Gravity enabled. True. Oh, because I set the position. Let's not have that. Oh, but now it can't go up. Now it is unable to go up. Gravity enabled, false. We are unable to retrieve the bobber. Why is that? Why is that? What if instead of setting gravity enabled, we simply set the velocity? Wait, but the velocity, shouldn't we be applying acceleration? Velocity, we just set the velocity. Right, we set the velocity to 0. The horizontal velocity. We should set it still to be... Oh, okay, let's just set it to real speed. Nope, it's not going. Alright, because we also need to offset gravity. Real speed minus player.bobber.get gravity. Could have the bobber jump perpendicular to the wall. Wait, what the frick? What the heck? This should be times delta. No, that doesn't work. What am I doing? Collisions. Jump perpendicular. So wouldn't that be, it would be going this way though? Why would this not cause it to go up? This one causes it to go up too much. Real speed minus gravity. This should offset gravity. No, because this thing should not be... What? I guess maybe I still need gravity enabled false? I don't know, but anyway, I guess I'll figure this out off stream. Probably. It is now time to end the stream. I've accomplished very little today. But that's fine. I should have checked to make sure things were synchronized properly. Do I want to reopen everything? Probably. Alright, let's wait until this is synchronized. We're waiting. Simply, I'm waiting. Let's do watch ls test. Every 2 seconds it is running. Sitting down here waiting. When is there? Okay, it exists now. Good times. Alright, let's end the stream. Okay, what day is it today? It is 7/7, lucky day. 7/7, that's literally Uba Musume. The skill in Uba Musume when you're in bracket 7 and you get skill bonuses, whoa, it's crazy. Okay, let's see. Chocolate Day, Forgiveness Day, Koi Day. Saba Day. Yo, that's a VTuber. Saba. Star Festival. Tanabata. Strawberry Day. Lucky 7 Gambling Day. What if we just made up our own day, huh? 7 day raid. What if we just did 7/7 day raid? 7/7 raid and then gamble. 7 day raid. I don't know. You do what you want. This is the first time in history we're making our own day. 7 day. All right, let's find out who's streaming. Who do I raid today? There's a bunch of people streaming. What if I find someone doing software and game dev? It's the 8th? Not over here, it's not. In the time zone that I'm in, it is in fact still the 7th. Alright, do any of these people look like someone that I am going to raid? I'm scrolling down. Wolfie is streaming. Whoa, we could raid that guy. We cannot, in fact, raid that guy. Not sure. Not really sure. What's this guy? What about this guy? No, you know, I'm gonna raid someone that I know. It's always strange to raid people I don't know. Alright, let's see. Of the people that I am following, I will send you over to a streamer. And that streamer is Cheno. It is Cheno. Let's raid Cheno. Alright, well that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Not tomorrow. I will not be back tomorrow. I'll be back on Wednesday with web fishing, most likely. And then Friday, more game dev stuff. Saturday, variety. And that's it. It's good times. Good times out here on the Wolfie stream. Tomorrow, no, not tomorrow. Imagine streaming on a Tuesday. Never. Imagine streaming at all. Can you all even imagine streaming? Is anyone even streaming on this website? No, the answer is no. No one is even streaming. Literally no one is streaming. There's no one there. Varg Skeletor is playing Uma Musume? Wow. Are you all playing Uma Musume? Are you winning? Anyway, the raid's going. I will see you next time. Goodbye.